Hello, my loves, my name is Hannah, and welcome to I Don't Know What. I read this book, Wolf Hall, by Hilary Mantel, a few years ago, and I loved it. I really enjoyed it. But I have a brain like a sieve, and I want to read the second and third books now. I'm in the mood for them, but I can't remember what happens in this one. So I thought, that's fine. I'll reread it. It's a bit of a beast. I don't think I want to reread it in a physical form right now. So I figured I'd do the audiobook. Great, the audiobook is 25 hours. And I was like, that's a good old chunk of time. What if I aimed to finish as many craft projects as possible? Because I am a perfect abandoner partway through a project. I'll see how many I can finish in the duration of the audiobook. There are only 2 rules to this challenge. If I'm reading the book, I have to be crafting. And if I am crafting, I have to be reading the book. I am no longer allowed to do either of those things independently. So that's the plan for this video. I don't know if this is going to lean more towards crafty or more towards books, but I am hoping there's enough of you that might be half interested in both of those things that are going to join me on this admittedly slightly bizarre journey. So that's what we're going to be reading. The first projects we're going to be doing are a couple of sweater vests. Now, look at this deep V crop-necked rainbow number. I think we can agree she's stunning and everything I deserve in life. However, this was knitted with yarn that I impulse purchased before I had a plan for what the project would be. And I did the front and then 3/4 of the back, and then I ran out of yarn. So what is happening is that I am going to be re-knitting this with a contrast rib. I basically have to rip the whole lot back. That's fine because we are knitting for meditative reasons and so that we can enjoy our audiobook. We have 25 hours. It's totally fine that I have to redo this. So we're going to be redoing that. So this is going to get ripped back and we're going to hope that I've got enough yarn with some ribbing tweaks. I then have another one, which is pretty much done in this, like, I don't know, is that color showing up? It's kind of like it's a pinky lavender with a little neon trim. And this guy was knitted in the round, so I don't even have any seaming to do, but I do have to do some rib around the armholes and the neck hole to finish her off nicely so that she matches the bottom, and obviously weave in my ends because I don't do that as I go. So that's what we're going to start with. I'm going to start with this one because I think it's going to take me a little while to settle into the book, and this is much easier. This will involve more of my brain and therefore will be for later on in the book when I'm well in the flow. So I don't know how regularly I'm going to check in with you. I don't know how much I'm going to be talking about the crafts or the books. It is a mystery to me, but let's go do this thing, shall we? Cool. Okay, we've listened to about nearly 3 hours and my hand is cramping. So we're stopping for now. And in 2 hours, 45 minutes of audiobook, I have got this far. So I don't know if you can see, I've done like a couple of stripes of the blue to try and eke out the variegated yarn as much as possible. I'm hoping it makes a difference. But Colourworks are faff in it. So I've just done a few stripes and we're gonna leave it at that. And now that's kind of the fiddly bit for a while. It's probably another couple of hours of just stocking it. So that will be very easy to pay attention to the audiobook on. So progress, hurrah. Audiobook wise, loving it. Oh, it's so good. It's such a good audiobook. So there are a few different ones. I think there's at least 2. I am listening to the one narrated by Ben Miles, which is the one that was done in 2020. and I heard Hilary Mantel personally cast Ben Miles for the audiobook, and he's doing a brilliant job. I'm sure the other guy who did the previous one was excellent too, but this is brilliant. And I remember getting a little bit flustered, like I said, the first time I listened to it, but I haven't even needed to consult my hard copy. I had it there because it does have like a cast of characters at the start, because obviously it's courts and stuff and everyone's fucking called Thomas. But for some reason, like with the audio performance, I am able to follow that better than I did in the physical book, which is not often the case. So I think that's really well done. So it's like coming up to 8 p.m. now. I'm going to read a physical book for a bit, give my hand a bit of a break. I think it's going to work, this strategy though, because I'm enjoying the audiobook so much. I just want to carry on listening to it, but I'm not allowed to. So, I mean, if you don't have to constantly invent games to play with yourself to get things done, then like, I'm thrilled for you. But I'm actually having a lovely time with my silly brain today. So yay. See you soon. Bloody hell, hello. Right, this is where we're at. We have done like 2/3 of the new front. So I've done that side like that. For some reason, it feels like the V is deeper. It is ever so slightly. Technically, both walls are 4-ply, but obviously there's always like a little bit of variation, and I do think the plain blue is a little bit thicker, which might account for that. This has taken me 7 hours so far. So I now think I will be happy just to finish the 2 sweater vests. Like if I don't get anything else done, that might be all right. It has taken longer because I also did some colour work with the banding there, just because I am on a conservation mission with the variegated yarn, because I really want to be able to finish it. Or if I get like 90% through the back of this and I run out of that wool, I am going to put my head through a window. So, such a mindful hobby, this. But yeah, so we are, you can't really tell. I will show it to you when it is finished on. I am hoping as well, because this is kind of the lavender one is a bit slouchy. This one is quite boxy, and I think, famous last words, because my body fluctuates a lot, I think I won't need to block this. I think it will just be the size that I need it to be, and that would make me very happy, because for some reason, like, blocking isn't difficult, but I hate it. I just hate it. So there we are, 7 hours in, and we are, I'm gonna say we are 2/5 of the way through this sweatshirt. I think plan of attack is to finish this front piece. Then I think, just so I can get a finished something under my belt, I'm gonna finish the lavender one. So I'm gonna do the next arm of this, swap, do the trim. But this may be me done for today. This is the second day, by the way, if you've got no context. Day 2, so 7 hours of knitting in 2 days. I mean, I slammed this finger in car doors a lot as a child. I was an attention seeker. And it already moves kind of funky. But yeah, it's because that's the one that holds the yarn in that hand, and she's not happy. So we're gonna stop for now. Having the best fucking time with this audiobook though. It is so good. I think, considering it is a one actor, it feels like a larger cast, which I think is the highest praise that I can give. It's Ben Miles, who is I realized back with you, I was like, yeah, I know who that actor is. He's this actor. So yeah, loving it, and it's actually making me think, even though I have the physical copies of Bring Up the Bodies and The Mirror and the Light, if Ben Miles has done the audiobooks of the other two, I might at least hybrid read the other two, because I thought I was going to struggle. I really thought I was going to struggle to follow it. Now, whether it is just because the audiobook is reminding me of like knowledge that is already in my brain, I don't know, but highly, highly, highly recommend the Ben Miles audiobook so far. It's great. Like, if you haven't read Wolfhall, or you don't know anything about it, so it's following Thomas Cromwell, but it's the period of the Tudors when Henry VIII was trying to come up with a way to sack off his first wife and marry Anne Boleyn. But it's told mostly not from the first person perspective, but from Cromwell's perspective, although we do see like other characters. But the timelines, so you flit around so much, you get a huge amount of like Cromwell's personal life and personal history, but it's so rich. And I remember this from the first time I reading it being like, I cannot comprehend the amount of research Hilary Mantel must have, like, even to gather the amount of information and then to present it in a somewhat digestible plot would have been impressive, except it's not just that. It's incredibly compelling, really nuanced. The moving between timelines isn't confusing. It kind of adds things, because something will be mentioned and then you'll go back in time like 30 pages later and realize, oh shit, that's what that was. So when he said that, he meant this. And it's excellent. That's all I'm gonna say. So yeah, I'm gonna go stretch my fingers. Okay, here we are at the 10-hour mark. So this is what I have done in 10 hours. And for contrast, this is the original front that I knitted. So I actually, do you know what? I was sad about having to do the contrast, but I think I kind of like it. And I also wasn't sure about this, the problem with some of the variegated yarns, right? Oh, there we go. Is like sometimes you get stuff like this happening where when you're on a decreasing row, the pattern look like it. I love how this is all like wibbly in the middle, and then I don't like this solid blue bit, but whatever. It shows it's handmade. I did lie to you though, because I said the next thing I did would be this one. And I did start last night in the last little bit of, I was finishing off a chapter of Wolfhall, and I started picking up stitches, but it's been a while since I've had to do a cuff in this way, and I forgot how fucking fiddly it is. So I will do it. but I got my period today, and I do not have the resilience skills right now to deal with this. So later on, we will be continuing with this vest first. Cool. Okay. Hi. Oh God. Sorry. The light. Is this the best lighting I can manage? It probably, it's actually better with it down, isn't it? That was my reading light. Okay. We have 9 hours to go. I have cheated a little, because my partner wanted to watch something and I was in a flow. So I've done an extra like couple of hours. And this is the back, and I think it's gonna be too long. This is what I don't like about bottom up knitting, because I think I want this to be shorter, but I think it's the correct length for the proportions of the front that I've done, which, remember I said I thought was a little bit longer, but this is what I get for never, ever, 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 ever checking my gauge. So I also had to rip it back earlier because it's supposed to be 1 by 1 rib on the top. And I wasn't paying attention and did the 3 by 2 rib that is at the bottom. So I had to rip it back. Now I've got, 8 rows of rib to do. And then I'm gonna pin it together and give you a little reveal of the shape. Give myself a little reveal of the shape. It would be so exactly what I deserve if this is just completely the wrong size. But never mind. I'm worrying about it though. Not worrying about it because I mean like it's a sweater vest. This is nothing to be worried about, but it is playing on my mind. So I'm not going to listen to any more of the audiobook while I finish this. I'm probably going to stick some Grey's Anatomy on. But before I do that, I'm going to treat myself. That can was empty, thank God. To some cake. If you are new here, I used to do this a lot. Did you know that if you get most shop bought like cake mixes, you know the ones that you add like milk and eggs to, if you get those and you add a standard like 330ml can of pop to that cake mix, that it makes a vegan cake, a very delicately crumbed vegan cake, but a vegan cake nonetheless. And I haven't made one in ages, so I'm going to do a taste test. I haven't tried this cake yet. Great. This is a chocolate fudge cake mix made with a can of Aldi own brand, like Coke Zero, with peanut butter frosting. It is exactly what I deserve on a Friday evening. If the sweater vest is shit, at least the cake's good. See you soon. I'm gonna level with you lads. I think I'm gonna hate the sweater. And instead of confronting how much I'm gonna hate the sweater, I'm just gonna curl up on my sofa instead. And tomorrow Hannah can confront how much we might hate the sweater that we may have sunk, 16 hours of knitting into? It's just a fun little hobby. It's just a fun little hobby. Fun little hobby. It's all fine. Okay. This is where we're at. So it is basically a large square. it's just pinned at the minute because I haven't tried it on, and I'm not 100% sure that I'm not going to have to rip back parts of it. It's all bubbly at the side because it's just got a giant pin on the inside. I'm feeling better. I haven't tried it on yet. I thought we'd do that together. I'm feeling better about the length. It is supposed to be longer at the back than at the front. So, but I tell you what I'm not liking. I don't like this back. It is just a fucking straight line. There is no shaping at all. And that is what is in the pattern. For once in my life, I followed the rules and I did what the pattern told me to do. And I mean, the good news is I'm a broad-shouldered person and I can almost never find tank tops that will go right the way to the edges of my shoulders. So I appreciate the width option, but I just don't think that's going to sit nicely. But shall we try it on? I may yet be surprised. Okay. Do you know what? Obviously, like, that will be stitched. That will be stitched. I don't hate it. It's a deeper V than I was hoping for. See, I almost wish I wish I hadn't quite knitted the full width and that this could come in just like a little. But I don't hate it. It will sit differently. How's the back? Is it not? Am I a cube of a woman? I think it's made me a box, but that's fine. I am a box. So, and I wonder, am I dart that? I mean, I don't. What I wanted, I can't remember if I told you this. The vision was like nice black lace camisole situation under this, but I think it is too, like, that is the bottom of my bra. So maybe not that, but we can adjust the vision. That's fine. The vision is always fluid. So, okay. I think I just gotta sew it. And I'm gonna have to watch fucking YouTube again, because can she remember how to seam on a 1x1 rib? No, she can't. I might start with the edges. Was that a good size armhole? How much arm do I need? Do we think? Do I need that much arm? That much arm? That much arm? How much arm do I need? Don't want it to gape. Fuck it. We'll figure it out. I realised, sorry, I'm gonna perch. I realised that I haven't done a very good job, and I don't know if this is even something that you wanted. I get my jumper. Haven't done a very good job of filming any of the actual crafting because I listen to my audiobooks on my phone and I also film on my phone. So I didn't know if it would just be annoying to do both. But I think I'm going to sit in the office for a bit at the desk and stitch some of this, if the light's good enough. And yeah, let's go. The funny thing is, having done all of that extra colour work to make the yarn last, I now have so much of this left over. I probably would have had enough if I'd just done the banding, but we live and learn. Let's go stitch.
Old fish, over which he signs a grace. That won't improve it, he says. Who's cooking for you? I'll send someone over. So, is the marriage made? It is like Cranmer to wait to be told, to work 6 hours in silent patience.
Seamed up one side. Just trying to see if this is... Can't work out my armhole length. So, at the moment, what are we doing? Take this pin out. So, what we got right now? Oh, wrong side. Ooh, I may have gone too far. Do we think I should go? That's quite high up in the armpit, isn't it? I'll drop back 10 stitches and then we're done on one side. Woohoo! We are stitched. We're gonna have to fucking block it because where we've seamed at the top, I hated seaming in 1x1 rib, by the way. What a fuck about. Now I've got like sticky outy bits, so all of this is gonna have to be blocked properly so that it pins out and comes out a bit more like that. But do you know what, lads? We will wear it. We will find a use. It's probably not exactly the size that it should be, but I think we can work with it. So I'm gonna weave in the ends, and then I'm not gonna block it today because I don't think I have the fabric softener that I need. But then I'm gonna, what am I gonna do? I think I'll move on to finishing the ribbing on the other fucking one. Okay. Book's great though. Still loving the book. 8 hours to go. I am starting to believe that I am cursed in the context of this video. Just spent like, I mean, not ages, 45 minutes maybe, doing the rib on one of these armholes, and the pattern says to pick up, you basically have to pick up stitches from the edge, and the pattern says to pick up 3 out of every 4 stitches. So I did that, and I did such a neat job. I was so proud of myself. It looked so good. And as I was doing the rib, I was like, this looks like a small armhole. And what do you know? Picking up 3 out of 4 made the armhole too tight for my arm to fit through. So I've had to rip it back, and now I'm gonna have to do it again, picking up, I assume, every stitch, because I think that is the amount of stitches I need. Because like the armhole is like pretty much, it's the right size for me currently. I don't need the armhole to be smaller. I just need the armhole to be finished. You know what I mean? So that's been fun. I'm probably not going to do that right now because I'm too annoyed. Okay, ignoring the fact that we definitely need blocking. We have 1 armhole. Hurrah. Yay. It's so fucking hard to bind off and not tighten it too much, but I think I've given myself just enough. It's quite tight in the armpit, but I think after we block and stretch everything out a little bit, we will be fine. Good Lord. Hello. Once again, I am in a Premier hub. It is 1 o'clock in the morning. I was supposed to get into London at 10 p.m, but trains did their thing, and here I am, 1 a.m. I did finish the sweater vest, the second sweater vest, on the train, and I really wanted to carry on listening to Wolf Hall, but I didn't because I was trying to be good, and I wasn't in the mood to do any more crafting because I did bring now that that's my 2 knits completed with 3 hours of the audiobook to go. I mean, I still have to like block them and stuff, but I'm away from home for 2 days, so I'm obviously not gonna do that right now. But I did bring some visible mending, and I bought a little like darning gadget that I haven't used before. So that will be taking up the last 3 hours of the audiobook, I think. But I didn't feel like learning a new skill on a 3-hour delayed train. So I've just been reading other things, which are delightful, but nothing to do with this video. So I thought I would just check in and be like, hey, I finished something. Now I'm going to bed. I have to be up at 5:45. Great. Hi. Bath time for the knitwear. We are getting ready to block. I always panic. I think because I never block stuff properly, or at least when I first started knitting, I never blocked stuff properly, and it made me really mistrustful of patterns, which is very unfair of me. But if I had shown you this before it went in the water, it was like half the size. So it really does help if you properly relax the wool. So I'm looking forward to some nice slouchy oversized guys. Yay! I have about 2.5 hours of the audiobook only. I'm so sad. I kind of just don't want it to end. I'm having such a lovely time. But I do have to finish this video at some point, eh? So we will finish it. We will finish it. I'm really sad because it doesn't look like Ben Miles has done the audiobooks for the other 2 books. So I won't be listening to those. Sad. But yeah, Wolf Haulers, it's just a fucking masterpiece. It's such a good book. And I'm just like, I'm so in awe of Hilary Mantel. Do you know what I'm fascinated to read now? Because I've only ever read Wolf Hall. It's the only book by her I've ever read. I really want to read some of her memoirs. I know she's written loads, hasn't she? And some of them are like really big. And there is a content producer over on Instagram and other platforms, but he doesn't do YouTube stuff, called Simon, who is Footnotes and Tangents. And I really enjoy his content because he's like the opposite of me. He does these slow reads where he encourages people to read books really slowly and really carefully, whereas I'm like a disaster zone. And Hilary Mantel is one of his favourite authors, and he talks a lot about her fiction as well as her non-fiction. But I did the War and Peace slow read last year. Was it last year? And really enjoyed doing that. And he does do one every year for War and Peace, but he also does the Cromwell trilogy. So if you're interested and you are a person that really likes like getting under the skin of something, I really recommend Simon's content. He's very, very good. Yeah, so I will have to read my actual hard copy of that book, because I think it would make me sad to listen to a different audio performer. If you know differently though, and you have somehow managed to find Ben Miles doing an audiobook for Bring Up the Bodies, or oh my god, what's the third one? Mirror in the Light, then let me know. But yeah, so I'm gonna go and wring these out. Well, not wring them out, gently press them out and shake them next door and leave them to dry. Unfortunately, it is winter and my house is Victorian, so it's gonna take fucking ages for these to dry naturally. I'm gonna do my best to get the water out of them, but it requires a lot of patience, which is a resource that I have very little of. But I will do my best. And yeah, we'll show you them at the end. And then I think I'm going to do some darning with this new darning machine. Figure out how that works. So I'm going to go now. You'll probably see me doing a little bit of this, and then I'll check in with you when I have something to say about darning. How's this? How is this content? You tell me. I'm having quite a fun time, but I've got no idea who's going to watch this. Mystery. If you're watching this, who are you? What brought you here? Why are you still here? Are you happy? Are you having a good time? What would be improving it? Let me know. Some people have fancy, like, boards that you pin stuff to. I have towels on carpet. This is our spare room, which is freezing because, hang on, let's turn the radio on. It's freezing and cold, but no one comes in here. Well, hardly anyone ever comes in here. So it's handy even if it's not what the fancy, crafty people do. Okay, so this is not quite what I thought it was going to do. So it is going to help me hold my threads, which is great for darning. But I thought this was the guy that raised them alternately so that it was easier to weave on your horizontal thread. And it's not. I mean, it was, it was a couple of quid from my local craft store, so it is fine, and I will maybe just see how I get on with this, and if I get real into darning I will buy the better one that like shifts the levels. But yeah, so let's see here. This is a pajama top that's just got a random paint stain on that I figured, fuck it, I'll just try and darn over that, and we will see how we get on. It's fine, I just can't do physics. So you drag the little guy across here all the way, and it slightly lifts one side, and then you put him over that way, and it raises the other side so you can get the needle through. Yay! Okay, one darned patch. I pull too much, I think, or I think what I need to do, which this is fine because this is why we do practice. I think I need to draw a line before I do it, because this is the that's pretty straight because that's where the hooks were. But going across like this requires me to stitch in a straight fucking line, which is not intuitive. So, but yeah, we got a patch. Hooray. Yo. Right. I actually don't know how much time has passed since I finished this video in my head and apparently never finished it in reality because I just went to export it and upload it for tonight. And turns out I never finished this video, so fun. I'm gonna do a quick little, these are the final finished things that I made / amended in the time it took me to listen to the entire audiobook of Wolf Hall, which I'm just gonna say one more time, is fucking outstanding. Like the book and the audio, just mwah. And I was talking about this in last week's video, which was a wrap up. And I was just being gaslit by the internet and Everand, and Ben Miles totally did do the other 2 books in the series. So I don't know why they weren't showing up before, but they're there now, and yay. So I'm gonna do some like quick change. I mean, I'm not gonna do quick change. I'm just gonna cut to me wearing the clothes. Because I think there's one thing that you haven't seen yet. It's not very exciting, so like, you know, don't hold your breath, but here we go. Okay, so this very old and very beloved and actually fucking see-through t-shirt now. I love it because it's so soft. It's so soft. It's been washed so many times. It's the sort of soft that you can only get after many, many years of wear. But because it's so thin, I had a few holes in it, which I have patched up. This one is a mess, but that's okay. My partner was like distracting me. We were having like a little chat that turned into like a really big intense conversation, like not a negative conversation, just like the chat ended up taking up more of my brain, and as a result the sewing definitely suffered, but whatever. I like my little patches. I'm pleased with the green, and now I don't have holes in my top. I just have patches of like other stuff, but that's fun and fine. So this was the first thing we did. Not going to try the t-shirt on, and you've already seen it, but this, we're going in reverse order. So this was the last thing I did. Second to last thing, as you know, was whacking that patch on there. I mean, this is just like, it used to be my Women's March t-shirt, which is anything you can do, I can do bleeding. But I don't really wear it to stuff like that anymore, for no reason except I feel like I'm finished with this t-shirt for that purpose. But it is a nice soft cotton that I like to wear to bed. Here we have the second sweater vest I made, which it is much looser. It did block out reasonably well. It's got quite a lot of movement. I do wish the armholes were a little bit bigger, and that it came out a little bit further. This, I think, is a tension issue because she just can't bind off without making it too tight, especially in rib. So if you have any tips, if you're a knitter and you know how to do that, then by all means tell me. But I made it, and it's cute. It makes me look like a box, but nowhere near as much as the next one is gonna make me look like a box, I think. I haven't tried these on since I blocked them, by the way. What happened is I left them blocking in that back bedroom, completely forgot about them until my partner needed to use that room for something other than my stuff just being on the floor, which is kind of rude of him. But yeah, so this is the first time I'm trying them on, so you are getting my like immediate reactions to them. I'm not gonna love any of them. I think that's okay. But I will wear it, and it's warm, which is important. Okay, so this one, I'm ripping this up. Oh, I'm ripping it up. Like it, I just think the pattern's really shit, you know. I just like this strikes me as, I mean, possibly my gauge was off, which is always a possibility, but the picture with the V-neck, it's nowhere near down there. And I think this is a pattern designer. I'm not going to name and shame them. It's one that I found very easily online, but I feel like they have a smaller body and they didn't quite know how to size up the pattern appropriately for a larger body. So, I mean, I did finish it. I thought it would be fun with a pattern clash, but it's actually just fucking insane. And I don't like it, and I don't feel good in it. And that's okay. That's okay. I will rip it up. I will take great joy in ripping it up, actually. And I will use the wool to make something that I like better with more research done. I think this is what I've learned from this process. The problem with me and knitting is that every so often I will be like struck with an immediate urge to knit something. And so I just use the wool that I have around, and I just use the first fucking pattern I can find that might work for whatever I've got. And that's probably what's caused the issue here. But hey ho. I don't think she's going to be a yarn influencer anytime soon. But this was fun. The experience was fun. I'm a bit sad that it hasn't resulted in anything I particularly like, but I had a lovely time doing it, which is the important thing. So, I don't know. You tell me. I've got no idea what this video is like, really. If I did another one, firstly, I need your recommendations for really long audiobooks because that's fun. Also, any tips on like where you get patterns, particularly like patterns that actually work when you size them up to the larger sizes. And let me know like if there was too much of this and not enough book, not enough like too much of, what's the opposite of that? What did I just say? Too much of this and not enough book. Too much book, not enough this. What do you want, lads? I don't know. But like, hey, I am limping towards the end of term as I record this, and I ain't got much brain left, so I'm gonna leave it there. I will see you for another video at some point. Possibly it will be a vlog. If I finish reading the books, it will be a vlog. Otherwise it will be, I don't know, something end of year-y. I don't like doing my wrap-ups until the month has actually finished. And I don't want to do my best books of the year before the end of the year, because I've got some good books on the go and some good books up next. So like, I could record my best books of the year and then read the best book of the year, you know? I don't wanna... Anyway, this is... Bye!